Hey guys, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's build, we are building an evergreen harbor. I haven't built here in quite a while now. It's been at least a handful of months, and I feel like I just haven't done an apartment renovation in general in a while. So I wanted to do one because I'm just a little bit burnt out on landscaping for whatever reason. My very last build, I built in Sulani, and I didn't really have to landscape much because it was a waterfront property and the water just kind of does its thing and you don't really have to like make a true backyard. So I wanted to do something just a little bit more simple, a little bit more, not necessarily toned down, but just something that I don't have to like really worry about the exterior so much and really just try to stick to a theme on the interior. So this is a pastel apartment, and I also mentioned this in one of my last builds, which actually my Sulani build was 2 weeks ago, and then my container home build was last week. And I mentioned in that video that I really just was inspired once I like started decorating the inside that I really wanted to do like a spring related video, and this was supposed to be more of like a spring apartment, but it ended up being very pastel, which is very spring, but I feel like spring can also be rather vibrant as well. So I'm just gonna call this pastel apartment most likely. But we are building in Stonestreet Apartments number 4. This does end up coming out to 39,839 simoleons, so not too bad. We don't clutter it up like crazy or anything, but we do a little bit of clutter. But again, I wanted to stick within a theme and make it very pastel. So a lot of the decorations that I put here are very pastel as well. I didn't want to stray away from the theme, obviously. But this ends up being a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. As you can see, we're putting together the kitchen right now with these yellow cabinets and counters. And I have never used this swatch, I don't believe. I almost used it in my container home build last week, but then I ended up doing this nice little minty blue color. Kind of reminds me of like a Tiffany blue, but it's a little different. But I don't know, I just wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit more colorful, but not so eclectic. I feel like when I do tend to go more toward like doing a colorful build, I end up building very eclectic or super themed, something like this. So since I stuck within the theme of pastel, I don't know, I like the way it looks, but this ends up being almost like a retro build as well, but I'm kind of digging it. So I don't know, that's kind of what it is. It's like retro pastel. I guess the bedroom isn't very like retro, but this whole entire like living space with the dining room, the kitchen, and the living room, very retro as you can see. I believe that some of these items are from Get Famous, maybe? That's a very retro style pack in my opinion, and I think many of you could agree. I kind of think that's what the Sims team was going for when they put it together. But it all looks really good together. I did mix and match lots of different items. This is a base game console table, or I guess it could even just be a TV stand, or you could use it as like a dresser even though it doesn't function as one. It's just a kind of multi-purpose table, I suppose. And this is the, what is that? The tiny living standing lamp, and then oh my gosh, you guys, my brain isn't working today. The chairs in here, the couch and the love seat, no, that's not a love seat, that is an accent chair, are all from Paranormal Stuff. And this nice shelf here on the wall is from, I don't know. You guys, my brain has not been working properly ever since I've gotten pregnant, but it's okay. It'll come to me. I think it's from Eco Life. No, that can't be from Eco Lifestyle. Anyway, you guys probably know where it's from. I know where it's from. I just can't access that part of my brain right now, but that's honestly beside the point. So everything here is very pastel. I would say it's rather colorful, but pastel Pastel is obviously a lot more muted, and I don't know, I really enjoy the way this build turned out. I've never built something like this, and I very rarely touch a lot of the actual furniture items from Get Famous. I do really like the windows from Get Famous, and there's a few items from there that I've used here and there, but when it comes to like actual like furniture pieces, I don't know, I kind of stray away from them a little bit because they are very retro. They're very I guess almost like vintage, but to me it's just a lot more retro, kind of like 70s style furniture. So you have to have like a very particular build, but I felt it worked really well here, honestly. So that's what we did. And I was thinking that the sim that lives in this apartment is very artsy. So the second bedroom ends up being more of like a hobby room. I do end up leaving one of the walls blank because I was thinking that this sim is into art. So I'm thinking that they like to paint and they also like to knit. So you'll see as we hop in there after, I think we end up decorating that room. Ooh, it might be last, but the bathroom might be last. But anyway, we'll get to it. But I was just thinking that the sim is, like I said, very artsy or crafty maybe, however you want to really see it. But I don't know, maybe they like to put some paintings of their own throughout their apartment. So there are some blank walls here. I tend to do that because I do struggle with wall art and different, wall pieces and whatnot. But I think it looks good either way. You could totally have a sim here that it isn't really into art necessarily, or not into artwork, whether they create it on their own or they buy it off of Plopsy or just, in build buy mode, whatever you like to do. I think it still works out either way. It's not like the apartment is too bare, and I think it still looks rather lived in, but it does have kind of this very organized, minimalistic feel to it where it could almost be like a model apartment, like the one that you would go into and like look at, before you decide to sign the lease at this apartment building or something like that, for example. But I don't know, it's still very homey at the same time. So that's often what I go for. So we do end up hopping into the bathroom next, it looks like. So that hobby room will be last, but we'll get to it, don't worry. But this bedroom, or this bathroom rather, ends up being rather large. There's plenty of storage space here. Realistically, you would have this nice little storage cabinet off to the side of your shower tub combo here. And, a great place to throw linens, extra towels, toilet paper, all that stuff. And we end up having double sinks in here, so you could easily have two sims living here. If you wanted to have a roommate, you could, replace the couch with a Murphy bed maybe, but then you would need to get rid of the coffee table. Honestly, it's kind of, you could really do whatever here. You could change the hobby room into a kid's bedroom or a roommate's bedroom or something along those lines. But we end up sticking to theme in here. I'd say it's maybe a little bit more pastel and maybe just slightly more muted and neutral, but we do have some pops of color here that go within the whole pastel realm that we were kind of shooting for here. But right now I'm just cluttering up the shelves here. These shelves can be a bit awkward to clutter up. A lot of the times items like to clip to the cabinet that's underneath the actual shelving portion of the cabinet. So I didn't even feel like pulling out, my red shelf. I just wanted to make this really easy and not too cluttered. So we didn't go too overboard here. And then we end up just throwing a tapestry on the wall here with a little console table with one plant, nothing too crazy, again, very minimal. I often struggle with doing anything with console tables in the first place. I feel like either side needs like a candle, but then I'm like, I don't know. I just don't want to like overdo it with the candles because I can do that from time to time. I do that in real life in my own home and everything. So kind of wanted to stray away from that. But here is where we hop into the hobby room. So like I said, this is like a knitting / painting room. So it could be like a craft room, honestly. And we stick within the pastel theme. We end up using this really pretty minty colored swatch for this desk here. It's like a crafting desk, and I place a laptop there. So your sim could easily move around the laptop. I also place the easels, and I think I actually get rid of one of the easels because I felt like it was going to be too crowded and your sim might not be able to access everything in this room. So end up getting rid of one of the easels. And then, like I said, I do leave one of the walls blank because this is their crafting room or their art room, whatever you'd like to call it. So them putting up some of their art on the wall to me makes sense, whether they're just decorating this room with their stuff or if maybe they have like this gallery wall where they keep paintings that they're considering selling or waiting for someone to purchase, and they just kind of like live on the wall for a short period of time. And then we have the knitting basket here. So lots of items in this room can actually be put into your Sims inventory, so it's very versatile. But we're actually already getting up on the screenshots, and I just realized that there's no rug in this bedroom, which, ooh, I kind of regret that. Maybe I'll end up putting one in. Honestly, probably not, though. You guys have great imagination. If you do end up wanting to download this off the gallery, you can do so under my EAD, which is ashleyyangelinaa, spelled with 2 Y's and 2 A's at the end of Angelina. Make sure to go follow me over on Instagram as well. My name is the same, ashleyyangelinaa, spelled with 2 Y's and 2 A's at the end of Angelina. And I hope to see you guys in a future build. Bye.